Jude. Good morning. Good morning. It's a whirlwind of a morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Kimberly from the Institute for Spiritual Development this morning, and we are in the midst of a lot of friends gathering here, honoring the path of our ancestors, the path of the indigenous people who birthed and created and cared for this land first. This morning's homily is called Smoking the Pipe, Algonquin Medicine for Modern Times. Can you hear me okay?
Louder. Much louder. Yeah.
I'll do it again.
Louder.
Louder. Yeah. I was inspired to speak on this topic in this way after meeting and sharing time with an Algonquin elder, a Micmac, to be specific, at the Mohawk Strawberry Festival this summer up in Canajoharie. It was a very charged and curious meeting for me where realities collided in divine timing. Out of this exchange, I learned that the Native American roots I've held on both my sides of my bloodline were actually Algonquin. And this kinship kind of opened up and grew within me. I went home with a small library of new literature from this very humble, quiet man, who I'll call Grandfather Pritchard. The book that inspired the points in this homily that I'll be sharing is No Word for Time, which in combination with Mercury in retrograde and Indian ethos for not being rushed, challenged us this morning as we pulled together this technical production. But so I came home with a library, a small library of treasures from Mr. Pritchard. And it's all grown in me since, and I'd like to share the best of what I took from that this morning. So mawidajik is the Mi'kmaq phrase for a concept that we find very hard nowadays. It means things fall together. This was one of those times in my life when I read that string of words and a new star was born in my consciousness, my conscious being somewhere. The light bulb went on and it just took hold. And all of a sudden I had words for things that had been piling up in me lately. Invitations that shouted for me to stop fighting and stop trying to make things happen. Moments that are whispered, and sometimes very loud voices too. That if you're being truthful with yourself, that if you're operating from within evolution and growth, you don't need to chase things. They come to you when the moment is ripe and the resources are lined up. Things are constantly turning from one thing into another. And whether or not there's a grand plan or an overarching design, I know for certain, as probably all of you do here too, that there is a natural order and organization that holds these things together. In his book, No Word for Time, which I have come to love so deeply since that day, Evan Pritchard, Grandfather Pritchard, says this to explain the concept of mawidajik. Creation is ever unfolding and all pervasive, and so the wisdom of the Creator is in all things at all times. Not like a hand forcing things where they don't want to go, but a natural gravity of the spirit where things fall together as if by magic. That gravity could also be called universal love. The Puhin speak of sharing the love of the Creator. And when you do that, you help things fall together. There's no need to worry. Things will fall together at the right time. Creation is still happening and we are a part of it. Let things fall together at the right time. When you're making something, you don't have to plan it all out in advance and put it on paper each time. Bring out the best materials that you have at the moment and see where and how they want to join forces. There's no need to control everything in a world where things work together. Without controlling them, there's no need to be anxious when the more you fight, the less magic, which makes things turn out beautifully, can work. If you believe in the ongoing falling together of things, you can relax within yourself. You can stop hurrying, stop pushing, stop rushing, and simply let things be. That doesn't mean you get lazy, because a lot of things may want to fall together at any moment, and the plan definitely involves you, the tool of the creator, to help make it happen. Creation happens by itself, but it includes you as part of it. Don't tell spirit what to do. Let Giselg tell you what you can do. And if you listen and follow the wind from spirit, you will see yourself as one of those pieces falling together. It's a beautiful feeling to be like a red leaf in autumn, the way swaying you, floating gently on the wind and then landing in just the right spot. And that's the end of the quote there. I like to think of this art of delicately walking between listening and doing as spider medicine. The spider intricately balances not only on a beautiful, shimmering tiny strand that it weaves itself, which also catches the light, but spiders walk all over this sticky stuff, and that we get stuck in ourselves, expertly catching its very own food and preserving it as well. And as a side note, did you know that spiders are one of the oldest beings on the planet? One of the original beings that made it through. And they can also choose which type, which composition, and which size of silk or strand to weave, up to 6 to 8 different kinds of I don't want to say silk, but that they can produce. So they're adaptable, right? They're creative. But when they also read the world moment by moment. They read their environment and listen to the wind and the spirits and the energies of life around them to know just how to balance on each side of that string. Ted Andrews says of them that spiders can teach us to walk the threads between life and death, waking and sleeping, between physical and the spiritual. Between the physical and the spiritual. Most Native American tribes hold that prayers are carried up to the Creator best on smoke or from a pipe. The smoke of a pipe or a smudge offering is a beautiful, living carrier for intention and becomes a living etheric connection to Gizulk in Micmac or Tonkashla in Lakota or Shongai Awedeso in Mohawk. Smoking the pipe refers to the natural flow of things drifting apart and coming together anew. We can all see it in our mind's eye right now, yeah. Just like the dance of smoke in the air, traveling up to the sky beings to deliver our prayers. It's a form of co-creative medicine where we merge part of ourselves with parts of the earth to magnify and accomplish great things. So how do we live in such a way where we can hover like a spider, poised and listening in the place where things fall together, but also still keep a foot in this world, able to do things, to live and to move and progress with our lives, to serve the Creator and do good work, hopefully? To answer this, Grandfather Pritchard, as I'll call him again, in No Word for Time here, presents 7 practices that he finds best, practices that he finds best, fights the pull of time and societal pressures, and brings us back to a place of no time and all being. So it's his prescription for being able to live in the world like the spider, to be still and listen and yet act and move. So his 7 things, his 7 gemstones. First, distance yourself from clocks. I'm going to put my hand up and say, so I did this a couple of times recently. In order to do that, I had to set a timer. Like who? I just laugh. I still laugh at that. In order to get away from the clock, I needed something to hold space. and time for me. So he says, put away, get away from the clocks, put away your gadgets and feel your way through what an organic life would be like when you are just in communion with spirit and with nature. Slow down your pace and try to forget about time for just a little bit. Second, very simple and not easy. Stop thinking about other people and what they think. Oh, yeah. Third, stop thinking about money. Just as every moment holds financial potential, each moment also holds the potential for love and beauty. Let yourself be in a place where the money isn't ruling over you and where you open yourself to the beauty of life as a conscious choice. Fourth, stop thinking about getting things done. Take time to re-examine the balance in your life between work and play. How you doing? Find ways to bring lightheartedness and fun into the work that you have to do. Fifth, stop taking in caffeine and other stimulants such as sugar. Don't wait for a health crisis to stop you. These energy highs can start you on a dance that you can't stop dancing. Your body becomes dependent and you can get into debt. You can get into debt to clock time. What an interesting concept. By borrowing caffeine hours of wakefulness that may not be repaid for years. These things all distort time. Sixth, in order to have a genuine experience of timelessness or being in the moment, get out and run around. There's something that happens right after exercise that puts you in a different dimension when you sit down, pull inside yourself and feel totally calm. Sink into that without rushing on to the next thing. Seventh, stop worrying and focus on being happy no matter what. Being happy can help you let go of time. If you have to, think of happiness as a weapon or as an impenetrable shield. Do the work to put that first, even if just for a short time. Your happiness counts more than you know. And those are the seven. I will confess, these comprise some of the most challenging habits for me. As I sat down in a concentrated moment to do this recently, what I found for me, at least, was that it opened the doorway to feeling. The Tibetan medicine practices that I'm steeped in and the elemental cycle that we use as a pathway to authentic feeling in the Marcus classes came to mind about multifarious activities and false enthusiasm and how all these things that are actually all these things are actually the very exits that we use as humans subconsciously to shut down feeling and to avoid that. The ability to feel when it gets to be too much for ourselves. We use it to shut down ourselves and not to have to feel. And that's fine. That's okay. It's as it should be. We need that safeguard to control our limits. But feeling is the gateway to true healing. When we want to tiptoe back out of that mess that we got caught up in the knots of ambiguity and illusion and confusion or unsettled feelings, when we're willing to release and to be real with ourselves for a little bit, then I hope that you can remember these 7 principles and to let things fall together. They're not rocket science. And certainly this is not the first place you've heard these ideals, but as one speaking on behalf of those of us living down here now, we need this more now than ever. I don't think the rules of the game have changed. I think these nuggets of Algonquin wisdom presented here today still hold true across the board. We shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. Keep it fun, keep it light, be good to yourselves and others. Try to walk the way of a good life. And when that gets hard, get out into nature and spin it off. And if all else fails, try laughing at yourself a little bit. We're done.